Dear Nigerians, we are all poor. The truth is, more than 40% of Nigerians are extremely poor. This is the data from World Development Bank. Data from National Bureau of Statistics also indicated that 4 out of every 10 Nigerians is extremely poor. And again, these could stem from the various policies that have been formulated, implemented, or even executed by all the previous administration in Nigeria, starting from 1960. However, let us look at what happened in last 3 administrations. The administration of President Jonathan and President Muhammadu Buhari, and now the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. With what is currently happening, we have high level of taxes in the country, we have hyperinflation or running inflation, and then we have galloping unemployment, we have inefficient policy execution or inefficient policy formulation and policy execution. Of course, in every society, there are 3 categories of people. Or let me say, for example, within Nigerian content, in the past, we usually have 3 classes of people. We have the super rich, we have the middle class, and then we have the poor. But with what is happening right now, with high level of taxes that is currently, being administered by the current administration, what we have is that we have super rich, and then we have the poor, and now we have the peasants, or the urban peasant, if we might refer to that. So the super rich are those in Nigeria currently, are those who have taxed their way or who have been able to find certain loopholes within the system, within the institutions, and they are taking advantage to milk the economy. They are taking advantage of all these loopholes directly. They are those that are super rich. Because imagine, despite all the galloping unemployment, high level of taxes, the demand for forex is still very high. A lot of Nigerians are wondering, because the consumption of imported goods is still very high. The consumption of luxury goods is still very high. Not just imported machineries, luxury goods like expensive cars, expensive housing goods, expensive construction materials and all of that, expensive furniture and all of that, they are still on high demand. And this is actually affecting the system negatively. And that's why the system cannot even meet up with this forex demand, because the demand for forex is very high, for perhaps even more than what the system can even be able to sustain, both in the short and long term, obviously. So we have the super rich. Again, just like I said, directly there are those who are milking from the system. They are taking advantage of all the loopholes in the economy. As we can see, that the evidence is very clear from what we are seeing from the Financial Economic EFCC, with the way they are fighting all these people and taking them to jail and being able to recover a lot of the looted funds. So you can see. Then indirectly, maybe because of the structures that they have been able to put in place. So that these are the super rich people. Then the initial middle class that was created by the administration of President Obasanjo has now been completely turned into poor people, annihilated. They are now poor people. In fact, if care is not taken, if this current system continues, there are chances that these same people might just not be able to ever recover for their lifetime. So, because the middle class initially, they were the one that were sustaining the economy, they had a lot of SMEs, they're the one driving growth and all of that. But with high level of taxes everywhere, high level of taxes, just like I said, and then with this issue, with the fact that there's been an increase in electricity tariff, a lot of SMEs can no longer be able to sustain. After all, they are the middle classes. They are the middle class, and now they are now poor people. Then the original poor people, the original poor, are now urban poor, or maybe because a lot of them are now living in the urban areas. They have no access to electricity, they have no access to good road, they have no access to health, they have no health facilities like hospitals, and then they have no access to security, and they are deprived of basic government, basic amenities. So these are the urban poor, and there are a lot of them, more than 80 million of them. So what can the government do? The government has a lot of responsibilities. For me in person, and as an economist, I always believe that no government can find its way or can get to prosperity or can be able to succeed or drive an economic growth by taxing people. You don't tax the poor people. That is not how you you have an economic growth, or you can be able to sustain an economic growth, you have to reduce your taxes. You have to ensure that companies are growing. You have to ensure that you have a lot of foreign direct investment, and a lot of them are coming in. You have to provide security. And as far as electricity is concerned, it has to be as cheap as possible. Make it available. You have to subsidize it. So again, just like I said, the truth is most people are very poor, and the government has a lot of duties, have a lot of responsibilities in ensuring that they are able to help the citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So this is just my message to you this morning. I pray soon and hope that we can be able to get a government that is patriotic enough so that they can be able to